Diarrhea!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
You reap what you sow, brother.
After a one-day hiatus, we're back. Pregame show. You got Joe Spadoni in here for the next hour. And we got you. And your phone calls, texts, comments, concerns. You know the number. 888-957-9570. It's 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Xfinity mobile text line. And good morning to all you lovely people just getting off work, getting ready for work, staying cool out there. Maybe you're, usually a late afternoon runner or something like that. And you're like, maybe I'll just do it in the morning time when it's cold. Maybe you're waking up at 5 a.m. thinking, you know what? I'm going to take my run now because it's hot. The Bay is hot. And it's hot in the desert. We know it's hot in Arizona. But the Giants are anything but that. They're ice cold. And it's been tough to watch. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I was hearing the word special. I was hearing the word fun again. I was hearing everything was going well. Positivity. Well, again, it's a long season. And right now, the Giants look anything but a fun team. They don't look like a contending team. They don't look like a playoff team. Now, the third wild card will make them relevant for most of this season because I expect them to hover around 500. And if you hover around 500 in Major League Baseball now, it means you're going to contend for a third wild card spot. So, 8-5 the final last night. Kyle Harrison gets another L. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. Solid, though. I mean, that's a quality start. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. I'm not mad at that. I think the kid is more hard on himself than he probably should be. Because this is what a rookie usually looks like. For anyone that thought that he was going to come in this season and be this phenom, Cy Young candidate, no. That's not how it works. Those are outliers. Like the Tim Lincecums of the world, the Clayton Kershaws of the world, those are outliers. This is what it usually looks like with Kyle Harrison this season. And you just look at his stats right now. So he's 4-3, 4.18 ERA, 71 innings, 65 strikeouts. Okay. 1.39 whip. Again, that's what I would expect from a rookie. Solid. But right now, the Giants seem more than solid. Is that unfair to ask of a rookie? I mean, he's getting in his innings. I expect, at least a win here and there. So to put it all on Kyle, that's tough. But right now, everyone's feeling it. I mean, just listen to Kyle Harrison. I want to play this one first. And this is Kyle Harrison after the game yesterday. Again, 888-957-9570. Giants take another L, 8-5. They've lost 6 in a row. They're 29-33. They're 12-19 on the road. They kind of just got a fake comeback there late. Nothing I hate more as a fan than a fake comeback, because it just makes you tune in longer. Sam Lubman, back better than ever, by the way. He was like, I turned it off after it was 8-2. And I was like, good thing you did, because you probably would have stayed up after they scored 3 in the top of the 8th to make it 8-5. I was like, yeah, good thing I fell asleep. Because you don't want to stay up for that. You know what the final outcome is going to be. And maybe because Spadoni, you're a bad fan, you always watch till the end no matter what. Hell no. On baseball. Yeah, football, I do that. Got 17 of those games a year. Basketball, maybe. No, not baseball. There's too many games, man. I'm going to pick and choose my spots, if you will. Kyle Harrison on his pitching performance.
Tough one. On my side, I just tried to compete and stay in the game as long as I can and try to give these guys a chance. But, just ground ball through the hole, just tough day. And we got to clean it up.
what toll does it take to get those extra outs, especially in the third?
It takes a toll, but you got to pick up your defense behind you, and that's all I was thinking at the time. And really wish I could have came in that one inning and not given up that base hit to Alexander. And definitely some stuff to look back on myself, and I could be better.
Damn, Kyle. I mean, that guy sounds so down on himself right now. I get it. Tough loss, 8-5. He wasn't the reason. No, he was part of the reason they lost, but that's only because he gave up 3 earned runs. And that was the difference in the end. Would have been a tied game without that, but again, quality start. I'm not here to rip on Kyle Harrison. I think he's been just as advertised as a rookie. I think he has shown what he is good at, what he is not good at, and what he needs to get better at. That's a rookie right there. I'm looking at the Blake Snell signing as being the worst of the season so far, and that's going to, take up most of Giants fans' attention. Not Kyle Harrison, not Jordan Hicks, who again has been solid. Logan Webb's been solid. Kyle Harrison's solid. It's the Blake Snell one right now that's really hurting you as a team. It's Lamont Wade Jr. being out, which is really hurting this team. The guy that was always consistent at the top of that lineup, was playing like an all-star, gets on base, leads Major League Baseball in all his on-base percentage categories. Like, he's the guy. He's the gear that makes the clock go. That's him. And Lamont Wade Jr. being out. And again, you can't count on Lamont Wade Jr. now. Like, he's shown that in his career as a Giant, he gets hurt, which sucks. I hate to label guys this injury prone, but there is something to it. I mean, there's a reason we say that, because you can't count on the guy. And right now, I can't count on him being in the lineup consistently every single year. And this is what we talk about when we talk about the Giants. When some of those veterans start getting hurt, the Lamont Wade Jr.'s, right? The Confortos, who's back, went 0 for yesterday. When those guys get hurt and you start relying on the young guys and the young guys aren't producing, then you're left with a mess. Now, Elliot Ramos, 2 walks yesterday. He's just seeing the ball well. I don't get any hits, but he's just seeing the ball very well right now. And Melvin spoke about it 2 days ago, how he's just established himself as a big leaguer. And that is a positive this season. Elliot Ramos establishing himself. Now, can he keep it going? It sure looks like his approach is entirely different. Luis Matos, we'll see. Got a hit yesterday. Brett Wisely, that guy, all he does is score. All he does is get on base. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. Again, can he sustain that? That's going to be the question, and is it going to be answered? 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity Mobile text line, on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We're streaming on all of those platforms Monday through Friday, all day long, right here on 95.7 The Game. And you're going to be listening all week long at 95.7 The Game, 7:30, 12:30, and 4:30. All week long. So, Morning Roast, 7:30, Steiny Goo, 12:30, Willard Dibbs, 4:30. Be listening to all of those shows, and you will have a chance at qualifying to win a Stephen Curry signed jersey. Plus, you'll also win some cool swag. I got this little fanny pack right here. It's a little Warriors one. You hear that noise? It's all in that plastic. You hear that? It's right there. This little fanny pack. I'm not giving this away, by the way. I might just take this. Can I do that? Am I allowed? No, they're telling me I can't. All right. Well, I tried. I didn't put up much of a fight. I'm not a big confrontational kind of a person. Some things I am. They got to be random. Like cutting me off. That pisses me off, but I'm not going to get on my car. I'm not going to yell. I'll say F you. But that's about it. Not with the kids in the car. Don't worry. Although, I am my father's son when it comes to the road rage, and I'm trying to work on it. It's not a good thing. And if I'm talking to all you people out there and you got a little sprinkle of road rage in you, just take the deep breaths, do the woo-saw, relax, don't tailgate, don't run up on people's bumpers, don't do anything stupid. All right? That's the last thing you want to do heading into work, 5:09 a.m. if you're getting off work. It's the last thing you want to do, anything stupid. All right? If you're thinking about doing that, call into my show instead. I'll calm you down. If you're a Giants fan, you're pissed off right now. Team's 4 games under 500, you're pissed off. You should be mad. You should be upset. Hell, listen to your manager, Bob Melvin, after the loss last night.
When you're going through losing streaks, at least you fight. For the most part, we have. That was an awful game. We made it interesting at the end, but didn't play well. Made Harry get multiple outs. We had a starter on the ropes every inning. Couldn't cash in. It's a bad game and a bad stretch by us.
What do you think stood out worst?
We just looked like we were running around in quicksand for a while. So, it is what it is. But doesn't feel very good when you play like that.
Do you mean defensively?
Everything. The at-bat, we have guy on the ropes every inning and can't cash in but a couple of runs. It's just a bad game.
Was that a message that was relayed to the team?
I'm not going to talk about what I say to anybody.
What do you think was said? That's the question. What do you like? Baseball's so interesting, right? And it's funny because we heard guys like Dave Fleming, who's going to join the morning roast this morning at 8:30, voice of the Giants, 95.7 The Game, Giants insider. Guy knows the team inside and out. He didn't know Bob Melvin was this fiery. I think he is. He's a lot more prickly than what people think of him because they see him standing at the edge of the dugout, very stoic, calm, cool, collected. The guy gets pissed off. He wants to win. He wants to win badly. He's not getting any younger. He has been through multiple rebuilds and multiple franchises, whether it was with the Mariners, whether it was with the Diamondbacks, the team that just beat him last night, whether it was with the A's and doing all those different iterations, right? Tearing and rebuilding and then coming back up again, then going back and then going to the Padres, getting the taste of the NLCS and not winning a game there. That's twice now Bob Melvin-led team has gone to the NLCS, by the way. Padres, Diamondbacks, failed to win any games. Got swept in both of those. So he wants to win badly. And he's feeling the heat and he's feeling the pressure. What was said? Interesting. It was an awful game. Honestly, watching it, I don't think it was any different than any of the other losses throughout this stretch. I don't think they were, boneheaded in any way. You're saying they were running around in quicksand out there. You're saying your team's slow? Are you saying they're just not decisive? Like, what are you saying? And Casey Schmidt made an error. Doesn't usually do that. Happens. They're feeling it. Bob Melvin's feeling it right now. They should be. There should be a sense of urgency with this team that has had one playoff run during the Farhan Zaidi era. One playoff run. In 6 years? That's not going to cut it. It's just not. Can they turn the ship around? Absolutely they can turn it around. They just went the other week on a massive stretch where they were winning series after series after series. And then they got humbled a little bit against the Yankees. That's the team that's going to do that to you. They are the Bronx Bombers. They are the best in the business. They are the gold standard for a professional organization in baseball. That is what they do. But the Arizona Diamondbacks aren't that much better than the San Francisco Giants. That's the thing that should be frustrating in this. This is a series that you could win. I'm not going to say should, because the Giants don't deserve that yet. There's only a few teams that deserve the should and not the could when it comes to winning. The Giants aren't at the should yet. They could have won it, but they didn't. And Arizona's hanging around. Like, we're still looking at the NL West, and this is the sobering reality too. The Giants are still the fourth team in that division. Again, I don't think much of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they're, kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. I know they're dealing with some injuries on the pitching side as well. Corbin Carroll's, having a sophomore slump. But I'm just looking at the makeup of the teams. I'm like, why can't the Giants be better than the Arizona Diamondbacks? Why can't they be? Why can't they be better than the San Diego Padres? I know, I get it. The Padres, they probably got the better lineup, but I'm taking the Giants pitching over the Padres pitching. Absolutely. I love Dylan Cease. I do. Yu Darvish is getting old. Joe Musgrove, I I don't know. So I'm taking the Giants pitching over them. No, I'm taking the Dodgers. Dodgers still the gold standard in that division, but Giants right now, they're playing like the fourth team. And that's not going to be good enough. It's just not. From the Xfinity mobile text line, 925. That's good. I'll give you a hump day 4 925 in the Xfinity mobile text line. Bo Mel said you guys are playing like Schmidt. His glove was awful last night. Again, he got the air. For the most part, Casey Schmidt's been pretty damn reliable with his glove, so I'm not going to be too hard on the guy. But again, when you're losing and you hit 6 games on the losing streak, those plays just hurt you. They hurt you even more. They're even more focused in the microscope, if you will, when you make plays like that. It's tough. Again, here's Bob Melvin. I got to play this again. Just listen to the tone of his voice. He's fed up. And we're not even through June.
When you're going through losing streaks, at least you fight. For the most part, we have. That was an awful game. And we made it interesting at the end, but didn't play well. Made Harry get multiple outs. We had a starter on the ropes every inning. Couldn't cash in. It's a bad game and a bad stretch by us.
What do you think stood out worst?
We just looked like we were running around in quicksand for a while. So, it is what it is. But doesn't feel very good when you play like that.
Do you mean defensively?
Everything. The at bat, we have guy on the ropes every inning and can't cash in but a couple of runs. It's just a bad game.
Was that a message that was relayed to the team?
I'm not going to talk about what I say to anybody.
Was there a message that was relayed to the team? Yeah, stop sucking. That's basically what I got from that. Like, he started his thing right there. He's saying, we showed a lot of fight in this losing streak. But and then he kind of like backpedaled a little bit. He's like, yeah, we made it interesting late there. I was like, well, they kind of showed some fight. So like, that's Bob Melvin basically just calling out his team. That's, you know what? Sometimes that needs to happen. And it has to happen through the media. We hear Steve Kerr do this at times. He's like, hey, we need to stop complaining about the refs. We need to stop complaining about the refs. We just got our asses kicked. Like, that is something I appreciate immensely about Steve Kerr, is he'll just call it out like he sees it. Like when the Warriors got bowed out against the Kings this past year or the Lakers last year. He just said, we got our asses kicked. They were better. Sometimes people just want to dance around it and I still feel like we were a better team. And no, sometimes you just get your ass kicked and you get bounced. And that's what happens. And right now, the Giants are getting their asses kicked on a regular basis. 6 games in a row now. What are they going to do about it? They're going to cry about it? Or are they going to get up off the plate, stop making errors, stop playing in quicksand, and try to salvage this thing? It's not going to get any easier for the Giants. They got the defending champs coming up. As I pull up the Giants schedule right now. No, not the New York Giants. I don't care about the New York Giants. Although they're saying Darren Waller going to retire now. That's what people close to him are saying. Hey, Josh McDaniels, not a bad trade. 3rd round pick. All right. Josh McDaniels, sneaky right, by the way, about the Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller. Josh McDaniels not getting invited to the wedding. So apparently he leaked it. That was what reports were saying last year. Less than a year. I'm not laughing at that. I wish all the best for both of them. Sometimes, you know what? It'd be like that sometimes, but I'm sure Josh McDaniels somewhere smiling like, told you. But the Giants schedule, San Francisco Giants. Got Diamondbacks today. Last game of that 3-game series in Arizona. Then you're going to Globe Life Park. Is that what it's called now? Out in Arlington for 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got tomorrow off, thankfully. That's, you know what? That's probably a good thing. They need a rest. They can get a win today, get tomorrow off, just reset the mentals heading into your old pal against your old friend, Bruce Bochy. Be pretty cool. And then you got the Astros at home. That's not going to be easy. Astros have been playing a lot better. Although, did I see Kyle Tucker? Did he get hurt yesterday? Am I tripping? Okay. Astros avoid foul ball disaster. Exit game after fouling. Oh, his shin? Oh, boy. Well, x-rays was negative. All right. Nothing was broken or anything. I'm sure. All right. We'll see. But that's a break for the Giants. If they don't have to see Kyle Tucker, who's playing like an MVP right now, and we just saw probably the front runner for the MVP, Juan Soto, what he looked like. Yeah, I'm good off Kyle Tucker hitting bombs out here in San Francisco. And if it stays this beautiful out here, which I don't think it will, I think it's supposed to cool off by tomorrow. Yeah, that's disaster. So, catch a break potentially there. Then you got the Angels, who they stink. So that is a little soft spot. But then you got the Cubs, then you got the Cardinals. Cubs again, like, it's not going to get any easier. You might have a lull here or there, but even against the Angels, I'm not giving those to the Giants. Angels just beat the Padres last night. That's the thing about baseball, which makes it so fun. You can be playing the worst team in baseball. They can come in and sweep you. And you will be demoralized and people will be laughing at you and stuff like that. Then you come back, then you can play a team like, I don't know, the Dodgers. Maybe you take 2 out of 3 against them. It's like, oh, see, we're not that bad. It's so funny how we discuss it. And we try to discuss it like we do football, but it's just so different. But the fan in us wants to treat it like football. We want it to be life or death after some of these losses. It just, you can't live like that as a fan. Trust me, I've tried. It's not healthy. It's not. And speaking of football, Christian McCaffrey, little 2-year extendo, $38 million. All right, Christian, let's go. So Christian McCaffrey, not holding out. 2-year, $38 million contract extension. Happy for him. It's good stuff. $24 million of that guaranteed. So Christian McCaffrey getting paid. Brandon Ayuk, though. What's next for him? Kyle Shanahan on if Ayuk missing mandatory practice changes his viewpoints on him as a person or on the contract. This is an interesting question.
No, to me, it doesn't change at all. I mean, you find out when guys are in those situations where they come or not, and some guys come because they want to avoid a fine, and some don't. But regardless, it doesn't change anything. When those guys have come, it's not like we know what the process is, we know what the business part is, and that's just how they decide how they want to handle this week.
So Brandon Ayuk, that's going to be the next big domino to fall. After Justin Jefferson just got paid, I mean, that guy got the most money from as a non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Justin Jefferson, he deserves every single penny of it. You know the happiest person to hear that news, by the way? Sam Darnold. J.J. McCarthy. Thank God. They're praying like, oh my God, thank you. That's what I needed. I needed Justin Jefferson. I think a lot of people got burned last year who drafted Justin Jefferson first overall, not Christian McCaffrey. After Christian McCaffrey could not stay healthy for all those years in fantasy, comes to the 49ers, stays healthy. And speaking of staying healthy, Shanahan, after signing Christian McCaffrey to this new contract, talked yesterday again. 2-day mandatory minicamp, 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Charvarius Ward all spoke. We'll hear their reactions from everything. Shanahan on if they need to limit Christian McCaffrey's touches going forward.
I mean, I don't think it always needs to be that case with all the runs. Like we got guys that can run the ball and stuff. We got to protect Christian from himself. He doesn't like to ever come out, no matter what the situation is. And I do think that's something we could protect him with more. When you are such a threat in the pass game, it's a little bit different, and that's when you get touches from a running back. A lot of times you're the last choice. Just everyone's deep and you throw it to a check down. So like halfbacks can get 6 targets in a game without one play called for them, just because they're on checkdowns a lot. And so how do we feel about those touches? Man, I'm glad he was out there for that checkdown. That means no one's around and he's getting up the field and he's as good of a threat on a checkdown as there can be. But if he's just taking the wear and tear with 20 carries and stuff every game, and he's definitely good enough to do that, and he's proved he can stay healthy, but you'd like to take some of that off of him and give it to other guys also.
I'm curious, 49ers fans, 888-957-9570. When the news broke yesterday, I was listening to Guru and FB filling in for Steiny this week. And they were talking about, and Guru specifically saying, he felt some type of way about Christian McCaffrey getting paid before Brandon Ayuk. Now, in most of these situations, they're just separate. You got to handle players separately, business dealings, and it's not the same, obviously. The wide receiver market, we just saw Justin Jefferson become the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Like, it's different. We're never going to see that for the running back, at least not for a long time, unless there's this whole philosophy shifting back from quarterbacks being the focal point to running backs. I don't see that happening. But did you feel some type of way, 49er fans, about Christian McCaffrey getting paid before Brandon Ayuk? That's as simple as that. Now, David Lombardi, who covers the team for The Athletic, joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday. You can find the entire interview on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe there. Also download the Odyssey app. It is free. It is awesome. It is spectacular. You can find 95.7 The Game, just favorite there, plus thousands of other stations for the entire interview. David Lombardi asked what the Christian McCaffrey deal means for Brandon Ayuk. Not as much as you think.
Doesn't mean anything for Brandon Ayuk. The Brandon Ayuk deal is happening in the receiver market. The receiver market is what might actually slow it down because we saw such an outlier with Justin Jefferson's contract that it's kind of, to be honest, I think it's confused a lot of the league. You might even be able to compare it to the Deshaun Watson contract a couple of years ago when the Browns gave him that fully guaranteed deal. It was unprecedented. And then a lot of people at the time said, well, okay, now here come all the fully guaranteed deals for quarterbacks. And that never happened. The rest of the league never followed suit. So that remained an outlier. And this Justin Jefferson contract is 70% larger in terms of fully guaranteed money than anything that had happened before it at the receiver position. It's a good chance that the league is going to view it as an outlier again. And the first teams to really put to the test regarding that will be the 49ers because they're negotiating with Brandon Ayuk, and the Cowboys because they're negotiating with CeeDee Lamb. Maybe the Bengals too with Jamar Chase. But anyway, that's the main focus point for the Brandon Ayuk deal.
We're going to react to that on the other side. 888-957-9570. How are we feeling, 49ers fans? Brandon Ayuk holding out. Christian McCaffrey getting paid. We'll react to that. Plus, the Giants have lost their sixth straight. I mean, what's the fix right now for the San Francisco Giants? Bob Melvin seems to be out of answers. He's just pissed off. He's calling the team out. If you can call the team out, what would you say to them? 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, as we roll on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
95.7 The Game.
Pregame show, Joe Spadoni in the building. 2 more segments before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. Morning roast. We're fired up. They always are. And you're going to want to be listening 7:30 today and the rest of the week. Morning roast. Your chance to qualify to win a Stephen Curry signed Warriors jersey. I got to say Warriors jersey because he's going to be on Team USA this year. I'm going to be honest. If I had the option between getting the Warriors one or the Team USA one, I'd go Team USA, baby. Like, that thing would be rare. Because this might be his only time playing for him. That thing might go. And I'd be keeping it in the frame. Keeping it in the man cave, if you will, which I don't have. Like that I pretend to have. I'm not getting one. Until the kids move out. And that's not going to be for years and years and years and years. I'm just going to sound depressed. I love you kids. 888-957-9570. We're talking Christian McCaffrey getting a 2-year, $38 million extension, $24 million guaranteed, signed through 2027. Did you feel some type of way as a Niner fan seeing Christian McCaffrey get paid before Brandon Ayuk? Or are you like Spadoni? What are you talking about? Christian McCaffrey's our best player. I thought that was Brock Purdy. Thought Brock Purdy was the best player. And he's going to get paid. Yeah, you better believe it. He's going to get paid next year. But, yes, if we're doing the hierarchy, it's Christian McCaffrey over Brandon Ayuk. But if we're just doing positional value around the league, again, just go to Justin Jefferson. It's wide receiver over running back. So why not make that the priority? I get it. 888-957-9570. Plus your thoughts on the Giants' 6-game losing streak. Bob Melvin calling out the team. Hey, who are you calling out? If you can call out someone with the Giants, who are you calling out? 888-957-9570, the number. Good morning to all you lovely, lovely people. Good morning to Kyle Shanahan. I know he's up early. Come on, you got only 2 days here for the mandatory mini camps, the M&Ms, if you will. Not talking the rapper, who's back, by the way. I like the music video, the newest one. I didn't even know the song, but I watched the music video. It was good. Kyle Shanahan. How's the rookie looked so far? Ricky Pearsall. Maybe some protection for the future if the Niners move on from a Debo or an Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall, how's he looked?
He's doing a good job. I mean, he's got really good hands, so he always catches it. I mean, rarely he's going to have a drop. We're getting him a lot of reps. He's getting a lot of different routes, trying all the positions, and I've been really impressed with how he started off.
And how's the PP connection going? See what I did there? Purdy, Pearsall. Sam doesn't like that one. Hey, come on, I'm workshopping here. Are you saying it's a sterile take? Ha!
It's been fun to watch both of them. I mean, I know, Brock doesn't always get to watch how the route gets there, but he knows when guys end up in the right spot and they catch it. That's where quarterbacks get comfortable, and I think he can feel that with Ricky right away. I mean, he's been getting to the right spot, and when he has made mistakes, he understands it and corrects it, and I think that's why those guys are going to have a lot of fun working together.
All right. Let's get to the nitty gritty here on the Brandon Ayuk stuff. So that's great. You got Ricky Pearsall. You got the young rookie. This is early. I'm not taking anything away from rookie mini camps with guys looking good, wearing a blue shirt, no. What's going on with Brandon Ayuk? First off, Kyle Shanahan, your thoughts on the wide receiver market exploding?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. We've seen it with quarterbacks. You're seeing it right now with wideouts. It's happened with D linemen. It's part of it.
It's just part of it. Okay. It's just part of it. David Lombardi, again, covers the team for The Athletic, joining Willer and Dibbs yesterday, on if the Jefferson deal, again, if you haven't heard, Justin Jefferson, highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, 110. I'm just looking at the guarantees right now. $110 million guaranteed. Lombardi likened it to Deshaun Watson getting that money. The thing with Deshaun Watson getting it, and I get it, it's easy to say in hindsight because he looked bad last year. He looked pedestrian. He looked injury prone. But Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL. There's no debate there. When Deshaun Watson signed his contract, you could argue top 5. I mean, top 10 probably, but he wasn't the bona fide best player in his position. I don't have a problem. Again, not my money, but I don't think it's ludicrous at all that Justin Jefferson got $110 million guaranteed. He's that good. He's box office. He is Minnesota. He is the Vikings. He's in all the commercials I see when they're promoting the NFL on NFL Network or whatever. He's that good. He deserved it. Now, what he means for that franchise matters, though, too. And you heard Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, talk about it. There was never any, chance we were going to trade this guy. And why would you? If you're bringing in a rookie and J.J. McCarthy, and we'll see if he starts with Sam Darnold week 1, but with Sam Darnold as well, you need that guy if you're going to win. Just look at that division. Look at the young talent at quarterback, at wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he got paid. He's in your division. You got Jared Goff, who just got paid. Jordan Love, he's on the come. You got Christian Watson. You got Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. This is all of a sudden NFC North low-key stacked with young talent everywhere. And you're damn right I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson if I'm trying to compete in this division. And we'll see what happens with J.J. McCarthy. But I don't agree that it's... I understand what he's trying to say with the guaranteed money comparing it to Deshaun Watson. But I think the Jefferson one is much more deserved than the Deshaun Watson. Personally. I guess it takes business. Browns wanted Watson, and Watson was only going to sign with them. All that guaranteed money. He did. I don't know if anyone else was clamoring that much. I know Atlanta was potentially in on him, and maybe. We'll see. David Lombardi on Jefferson's deal and guaranteed money impacting Ayuk.
It was $88.7 million fully guaranteed for Justin Jefferson, and that should illustrate just how big of a jump this is, and why people are thinking this might be an outlier. So if Brandon Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb do start demanding money that's closer to the Jefferson end of the spectrum than it was to the Tyreek Hill end of the spectrum, that's when you could really see the 49ers and the Cowboys digging in and saying, no, that's an outlier. We don't want to go that far. So to me, right now, the potential recipe for a long standoff is there more than it ever has been, just because of this new deal that's come in. And of course, the receivers are going to want to try to test their luck, at least for a little while before training camp, to see how close the Cowboys and the 49ers are going to come to awarding a contract close to the Justin Jefferson deal.
They're not going to say it, but Kyle Shanahan's and John Lynch are big mad at Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings. Because it does complicate things a little bit. Not that Brandon Ayuk is on Justin Jefferson's level. He's not. I mean, if you're taking Brandon Ayuk over Justin Jefferson, God bless you. I don't think 99 out of 100 people are. But at the same time, if I'm Brandon Ayuk, I was second team All-Pro last year. I was one of the 5 best wide receivers in the game, and I want to be paid like it. So if that's, again, the practical guaranteed, $110 million for Justin Jefferson, at signing was $88 million guaranteed. At signing, he got his $88 million right there, which is, yes, Deshaun Watson like $37 million more than the next highest guaranteed at signing for a wide receiver, that being A.J. Brown getting $51 million guaranteed at signing. A.J. Brown, second most guaranteed money for a wide receiver in his contract right now, $84 million again this offseason. So I look at A.J. Brown, I look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I look at both those players, I think they're better than Ayuk. But again, it's about the value to the team. That's what matters here. Justin Jefferson's value to the Minnesota Vikings, that's about right. $110 million. He is that guy. He is the face of that team, that franchise, that city. Although, Anthony Edwards, we'll see. By the way, NBA Finals starting tomorrow. Kristaps Porzingis going to be playing in Game 1. This has been a long layoff. I mean, I get it. They have these dates set in stone. They have to. It's just, you kind of lose the luster here. Don't you? A little bit. I'm excited. I'll be watching. Luka, Kyrie, It's going to be fun. It's going to be box office. Two of these young stars going at each other with Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Kyrie, Luka. It's going to be fun. But I'm actually more interested in seeing what's going on with Brandon Ayuk in 49ers land. I get it. We're going to have months of speculation still. And are you panicking yet, 49ers fans? Are you saying sit back, relax? It's what happens with Debo. It's what happened with Nick Bosa. But again, I'll say this before we hit the break. Those had consequences. Those players, when they held out, weren't the same players from the year prior, when they had all-pro seasons, DPOY type of seasons. So the longer this thing waits and holds out and keeps going and going and going, it's going to have ramifications somewhere. And that might be what Brandon Ayuk's play next season. Got to take a quick break. Come on back. More of your calls, more of your texts. Who are you calling out? If you're the Giants manager right now, who are you calling out on that squad during the 6-game losing streak? Plus your thoughts on Christian McCaffrey's deal, Brandon Ayuk's holdout, all of that on 95.7 The Game.
Father's Day is Sunday, June 16th. Visit Shane Company for a great gift for Dad that will put a smile on his face.
95.7 The Game.
Maybe I need, like the Morning Roast has listeners and callers, like send them their rejoins. I need people to send me some rejoins. I'll play them. Hey, hit me up. Instagram, @Broseph Spadoseph. Twitter, Spadoni_Joe. We're streaming on Twitter, by the way. It's going to be a hot one again today, folks. Toasty in the Bay. Drink your water. Stay hydrated. Your Gatorade, your electrolytes. Get that sunscreen on. I don't care if you got a lot of melanin or a little melanin. Put that sunscreen on. Protect that skin, baby. Come on. Got to do that. Moisturize. Got to do it. The skincare routine. Come on. I know who's all about the skincare routine. God, he's manicured to the T. It's Christian McCaffrey, baby. He's got paid. He's talking to the media. And he's happy about getting the extension done.
Business is business. It's part of this game. Both sides were mutually very respectful the whole time, and just proud and happy that we got something done.
Christian, you feel that this deal can change the depressed running back market?
I think it's really important. I think, running backs have been undervalued for a long time now, and hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
Okay. We'll see. Again, there's only one Christian McCaffrey in the NFL, just like there's only one Derrick Henry. Those guys are outliers. They're exceptions to the rule. I still think you're going to be seeing a depressed running back market in comparison to the rest of the positions for a little while. I mean, the gap right now between wide receiver and running back is just at an all-time high. Hell, the gap between wide receiver, I mean, if we're just excluding the quarterback for a second, the gap between wide receiver and everybody else is at an all-time high. And is that the right move? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But if I'm the Niners, and I'm a Niner fan this morning, I'm just happy I got my guy, Christian McCaffrey. That's for damn sure. And I'm going to be happier if I got Brandon Ayuk. So, make it happen. Make it happen. Speaking of a guy who's done this and been there and done that, and again, 888-957-9570 would like you to weigh in. Did you feel some type of way about Christian McCaffrey getting paid before Brandon Ayuk as Ayuk continues to hold out? Christian McCaffrey signed a 2-year extension worth $38 million, $24 million of that guaranteed. Plus, Bob Melvin's pissed. He's heated. Said that was an awful game last night. He's calling out his team. Who are you calling out on the San Francisco Giants? 888-957-9570. Oh, an Oreo cookie on the 418 wants to take Tyreek Hill over Justin Jefferson. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Hey, by all means, I'd rather go with the size there than the speed. Because I think, and we're talking speed still, Justin Jefferson's up there. Now, the cheetah is the cheetah. I get it. His small stature, though, does concern me a little bit going forward. Also, Justin Jefferson's just younger. That's fine. And fantasy, hey, Oreo cookie, fantasy purposes, hey, I'm not mad at it. Mike McDaniel, that offense, yeah, I get it. Jalen Waddle and Tua, by the way, they're going to pay him, and it's going to be a massive mistake. I mean, they kind of cordon themselves where they have to, but you just look at the AFC. This is why the Niners can afford to pay Brock Purdy a lot, because of where they're at in the NFC. Like, if you were in the AFC, I do think the conversation is a little bit different about paying Brock that much money. Again, I'm not saying Brock Purdy is not going to get paid, doesn't deserve to get paid. I'm not saying he's not a top 10 quarterback. I do think he's on that fringe top 10 level right now. Again, he was an MVP candidate for a lot of last year. I'm not scoffing at that. I'm not. But I am scoffing a little bit about his playoff performances, which I thought came up a little bit small at times. He wasn't the reason, he obviously wasn't the reason they won them the Super Bowl, because they didn't. He wasn't the reason they lost it, but you know what? He was kind of in that area. Does a better quarterback win it? Chris Sims thought so. I get it. It's Chris Sims. Guy played the position at a high level. I mean, NFL is the highest there is. Now, it's Chris Sims. He's tied with Shanahan. He says a lot of things. He's in the media now, so they're going to say things to say things. It's fine. But I kind of agreed that, you know what? Maybe another quarter. If it was Joe Burrow, do they win it? Again, one game. We'll see. But these are the conversations that are had during contract negotiations. Purdy's is going to be next year. Brandon Ayuk, another guy that came up a little short and a little small in that Super Bowl. Now, he was open at times. He was open. I get it. Credit Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the best, if not the best in the business. Hell, Niners and Kyle Shanahan try to poach him. The Kansas City Chiefs are like, no. Here's a raise, Steve. They settled for Nick Sorensen. So, lots of questions. But you know what? Something you can't question with the 49ers is them being a Super Bowl contender right now. And that's all you can ask for. The Niners want to win. They have shown that. And they want to keep their good players. They've shown that with Christian McCaffrey. And I believe they're going to show that to Brandon Ayuk. I do. I believe that. And that's what a championship organization does. Keeps good players. The Giants used to be a championship organization. Keeping good players, they did that for past performances a lot. And you know what? We like to crush them for that because it kind of put them in the position where they're still trying to get out of now, where they're paying for the past, and that sets up a bad future for them, and it did. But I don't fault them for, you know what, rewarding greatness. I get it. I do. All those panda hats, all the draft hats, all that, it's sold. It was fun. It was a thing. Let Timmy smoke signs everywhere. I get it. It was fun. It's not fun anymore. The Giants are not fun anymore. In fact, just listen to the manager. They're awful.
When you're going through losing streaks, at least you fight. For the most part, we have. That was an awful game. And we made it interesting at the end, but didn't play well. Made Harry get multiple outs. We had a starter on the ropes every inning. Couldn't cash in. It's a bad game and a bad stretch by us.
What do you think stood out worst?
We just looked like we were running around in quicksand for a while. So, it is what it is. But doesn't feel very good when you play like that.
Do you mean defensively?
Everything. You know, the at-bat, we have guy on the ropes every inning and can't cash in but a couple of runs. It's just a bad game.
Was that a message that was relayed to the team?
I'm not going to talk about what I say to anybody.
He's not going to talk about what he says to anybody. But he did call out the team. He did call out the team. And who are you calling out right now, Giants fans? 888-957-9570. You can start lining them up for Bonta and Chasky. They're going to take over here in a couple of minutes. I mean, again, it's June 5th. It feels a little bit early for this, but you know what? This is kind of the time. You should feel desperate right now if you're Farhan Zaidi, if you're Bob Melvin. How many more chances is Bob Melvin going to get after this gig? Going to be honest, I don't think any. I think this is it. This is it for Bob Melvin as manager in Major League Baseball. I could be wrong. He's 62. He's getting up there. Not quite super old. I mean, got guys in their 70s still managing. You're going to see one Bruce Bochy coming up here. But that will be his, fifth team? Let me do my counting here. Mariners. This is his fifth team, right? No, this is fourth. This is fifth. He'll be his sixth team. Yeah. Diamondbacks, Mariners, A's, Padres, Giants, and then if you go, I don't see it. So he's feeling it right now is what I'm trying to say. He is feeling it. And he's letting his team know. Farhan Zaidi, he's feeling it too. There is a sense of urgency, which is refreshing, but also like, oh, man, June 5th, we're already doing this, huh? Like, I feel like it's early still in the season. But sometimes it gets early late. That's the saying, right? Or it's getting late early, whatever the hell it is. I butchered it. It's fine. But sometimes it be like that. And for the Giants, who are teetering, but I say teetering And this is why I can't act like the sky's falling, because we're 1.5 back from that third wildcard spot. And that's the thing. If they make it, or if they're hovering around it, it's just like, what are we doing? Well, it's enough for Farhan to keep his job is what it's doing. That's enough for Bob Melvin to keep his job. And I don't think Bob's going to be one and done. I don't. I'd be shocked if that happened. But for Farhan Zaidi, if they're just hovering around, win 80 games, but they miss out by a couple games, I think he's staying around. I do think that's a bad move. I do think that's a step in the wrong direction. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They lost 6 in a row. Can they salvage this series before heading to Texas and taking on defending champs? We'll see. But first, that was horrible. But first, Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, be listening, 7:30 Morning Roast, your opportunity to win a Stephen Curry signed jersey, at least to qualify for one. That's the first time, then at 12:30, another time, and then at 4:30. 3 times to qualify to win a Stephen Curry signed jersey, starting at 7:30 in the Morning Roast next, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment